Hello! In this video, we are going to learn about similarities and differences between English and Spanish as we talk about talent shows. As a preparation for this activity, I have these questions for you. Do you watch reality TV shows? Do you? If you do, why? Or if you don't, why? Think about the answer for a moment. Right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, let's read the following text about an issue in talent shows. Let's read it together. Public embarrassment in talent shows, when people feel embarrassed because they did something that they didn't expect in a talent show. All right? Talent shows are among the most successful television formats. Right? They are very successful, very popular. Viewers love to accompany people whom they may somehow identify with on their way to success. So I identify myself with somebody and I love to accompany that person as they win the competition, for example. The candidate's selection process, however, usually has a share of public humiliation, a portion of public humiliation and embarrassment. So people make mistakes and we laugh because somebody's so bad, etc., which simply amuses viewers. People find that entertaining. It's part of the show. But that may have a devastating effect on participants. Yeah. We laugh, but they have some negative things attached to that experience. Studies involving former participants in talent shows have shown that the sequels of such experiences often last years. So the sequels, the wounds, let's say, of that negative experience may have a duration of several years, even decades, and some, unfortunately, lead to permanent psychological disorders. Oh man, yeah, that could be, we never think about that actually, but that is something that every participant in a talent show, especially those that play on national television, might experience that. All right, let's make sure that we understand the text. What do viewers love about talent shows? In general, most viewers, I would say, they love to accompany those participants that they identify with, as they move on to success, to win the competition. And what usually accompanies the candidate's selection process in a talent show? Sometimes public humiliation and embarrassment, right? Good. Using this text as a reference, let's talk about similarities between English and Spanish, right? I have a lot of similarities here for you to see, so let's move quickly on these. In terms of vocabulary, English and Spanish share a lot of words in common because they come from similar roots like Greek and Latin. For example, we have words like public or talent or show, television, formats, accompany, identify, candidates. They may be either similar or equal to Spanish or just with some similarities that makes it easy for us to understand. So vocabulary is something that English and Spanish have in common, right? Suffixes in terms of vocabulary. Some words end in some suffixes that are similar to suffixes that we have in Spanish, and that makes it easy for Spanish speakers to understand English. For example, television, yes, we have that similar in Spanish. Identify, every word that ends in fi can have a similar ending in Spanish, usually, simply, unfortunately, so that li has a corresponding ending in Spanish as well. So that makes it easy for Spanish speakers. Embarrassment, Participants, or every word that ends in ment, we know it is a noun, so it makes it easy for us to understand it. Participants, experiences, psychological, all those endings have corresponding endings in Spanish, and that makes it easy for Spanish speakers. They also have polysemy, which means that there are some words that mean different things depending on how they are used. We have a lot of those in Spanish, and we have the same situation in English. It's not something that makes it easy, because it is not easy in Spanish to understand different meanings of the same word, but it is something that also occurs in English. All right? For example, when we say, the sequels of such experiences often last years. Last could be last year, or something lasts years. It means that it has a duration of years. So last is a polysemic word, right? We have several of those in Spanish as well. Word order is very similar in English and Spanish. For example, if we say, viewers love to accompany people on their way to success, all those words have the exact same order in English and in Spanish. If you translate that into Spanish, you will see that each word corresponds, or at least each element, like viewers love to accompany people on their way to success. All that could be copied from the same structure that we have in Spanish. Talent shows are among that is very similar. What is in parentheses is not. We're going to see it in a moment. But many portions of what we hear in English has the same structure, same word order in Spanish. Like studies involving former participants in talent shows have all that is Spanish structure as well, or word order, shown that sequels of such experiences often last years. All that is also Spanish order. Even decades, and some unfortunately lead to. All that is shares the same word order in English and in Spanish. All right, so think about that for a moment, and let's move on. Now, there are some differences between English and Spanish. For example, I'm going to show you some here. In terms of articles, we don't have articles before plural nouns and before some nouns that are used in an abstract way. For example, when we say in their way to success, in Spanish, we might put the success, but in English, we don't. It is different, which simply amuses viewers. In Spanish, we may say the viewers, but no, in English, we just say viewers. A devastating effect on participants. When we're talking about viewers or participants in general, we don't need the article in English, right? That is a difference. Another difference is in terms of adjective placement and agreement. In Spanish, we may put the adjective before or after the noun. In English, always comes before the noun. Or in Spanish, we may have different endings depending on the gender and number of the noun. For example, we may use 4 words for an adjective. If it is masculine, it is feminine, it is singular, it is plural. In English, we just have 1 form. That makes it different and simpler, in my opinion. For example, permanent psychological disorders. In Spanish, somebody that is not applying this difference might say permanent psychological disorders, or they would say disorder, permanence, and psychologicals. Know that in Spanish, we have agreement and adjective placement that is different. In English, it is simpler, I would say. The most successful television formats. In Spanish, we would say the formats of television most successful. In English, we don't have that word order or that adjective placement. It is different because it comes before the noun usually, unless we're having a verb. In that case, when we say the formats are the most successful, in that case, in English, we have the same structure, but because we are using a verb there to connect the adjectives to the nouns, right? But in general, adjectives come before nouns, and that is a difference between English and Spanish. Word order in general, in terms of stranded preposition, it is something that is different between English and Spanish. For example, we say, whom they may somehow identify with. That with comes at the end in English. In Spanish, we say, with whom they may somehow identify. All right? So that is different also. And some verb phrases. Some verb phrases, especially those that end in ing, may be different in English and in Spanish because they may require some more words for us to translate them, let's say. Studies involving former participants. In Spanish, we would say something, studies that involve former participants, all right? Possession can be expressed differently in English and in Spanish. The candidate selection process. In Spanish, we say the process of selection of candidates, of the candidates. You see, it is different. And we have the same as in English, as in Spanish, we have idiomatic expressions. For example, a share of public humiliation. Share, oh, I know that share, what share is. Oh, it could be something like a portion of public humiliation. It's a part of or some public humiliation. So the word share is has an idiomatic use there because it is different from the way we would normally translate that into Spanish. All right? That is just a brief summary of the differences and similarities between Spanish and English, and I would like for you to apply that into this practice activity. It says, identify 3 differences and 3 similarities between English and Spanish in the following text. All right? So I want you to please read this text and see how you can see that they have portions that are similar and different from Spanish. Use what I've shown you and complete the activity, and I'll show you some answers in a moment. All right, pause my video, please. Complete the activity. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for having done that. And what I'm going to do is I am going to underline some differences, and I am going to highlight here, like in blue, some similarities. All right, when we find 3 differences, we can stop. It says, about a year ago, all right? So that would be a difference because in the order that we have in Spanish and in English, it is different. In Spanish, we would say something like ago, about a year. It is different, all right? I auditioned for, that is a similarity because we have the same word order. A singing competition, that would be adjective placement, that is a difference on TV. But it didn't go as well as I planned. That is the same word order in Spanish and in English, so it is a similarity. I had a really bad cold and my voice sounded awful. I just chose to include this difference, this similarity. My voice sounded awful. The same word order in English and in Spanish. The whole crowd laughed at me and the judges were merciless. We may have that merciless as a similarity as well, but let's find another one. I felt so embarrassed. All right? That could be a similarity as well. I felt so embarrassed. But let's see if we can find another one until we find another difference. When I got back home, yes, we don't say that in Spanish. When I got back home, we will have some different vocabulary or way of expressing that. Okay, that's 3 differences that we have. Let's see one more similarity. Some people who recognized me, yes, let's continue reviewing the whole text, reminded me of the incident, but I just chose to laugh with them. Same word order. When they saw that I found it funny too, they stopped their banter. I like that word. Teasing me, right? Like teasing me, like playing jokes. They stopped their banter and eventually forgot about it. All that has the same structure, the same word order in English and in Spanish. Yeah, we're done. Even I did. That is a difference because that word verb form summarizes more words that we would use in Spanish to express that. Phew. All right. Now, I am going to pause my video so that you can practice your pronunciation. Listen and practice, please.
About a year ago, I auditioned for a singing competition on TV, but it didn't go as well as I planned. I had had a really bad cold and my voice sounded awful. The whole crowd laughed at me and the judges were merciless. I felt so embarrassed. When I got back home, some people who recognized me reminded me of the incident, but I just chose to laugh with them. When they saw that I found it funny also, they stopped their banter and eventually forgot about it. Even I did.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for having practiced your pronunciation and for having paid attention to similarities and differences between English and Spanish with this text. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I'll see you in the next video.